In this video, we're going to talk about something many older adults in America quietly struggle with, feeling like the support you once gave to everyone else isn't always there for you anymore. Maybe your kids are busy, maybe friends have drifted, and maybe the days feel quieter than you ever expected. That can leave you asking, who's really here for me now? I want to reassure you, you are not alone, and you are not powerless. Life after 60, 70, or even 80 isn't about depending on others to hold you up. It's about discovering the strength you already carry inside. Today, I'll share with you 5 powerful pillars of support that don't depend on your children, your friends, or anyone else. These are the supports that stay with you through every season, every change, and every challenge. And before we move forward, I'd love to ask you something. Where are you watching from today? Share your city or your state in the comments below. I know many of you have experiences and wisdom that others can learn from, and your words might encourage someone who needs it. Point 1. Emotional resilience. Let's start with something that matters more than people often realize: emotional resilience. At this stage of life, challenges come in quiet but powerful ways. You may have lost friends, a spouse, or simply the daily company you once counted on. The house can feel too quiet, the phone doesn't ring as much, and the invitations to gatherings seem fewer. These little changes can weigh heavily on the heart. That's why building emotional resilience isn't just helpful, it's essential. Now, resilience doesn't mean putting on a fake smile or pretending you're fine when you're not. It's not about hiding your feelings. Real resilience is about giving yourself permission to feel the pain, the sadness, and the loneliness, but not letting it define you. It's about saying, yes, this hurts, but I can carry it and keep moving forward. That inner voice, the one that reminds you that you've been through hard times before and survived, that's resilience. Think about your own life. You've likely faced hardships that would have broken a weaker spirit. You've endured financial struggles, family conflicts, health scares, maybe even the heartbreak of loss. Yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still capable of hope. That strength is already within you. Sometimes it just needs to be acknowledged and practiced in small ways. For some people, it's journaling, writing down their feelings so they don't get stuck inside. For others, it's a simple daily ritual, like lighting a candle at night or saying a prayer of gratitude in the morning. These little actions may seem small, but they're powerful reminders that your life and your presence still have value. They create a sense of calm and stability, even when the world feels uncertain. The most important part of resilience is choosing not to let disappointment harden into bitterness. Life will always bring changes, and people will sometimes let us down. But you get to decide whether those moments make you smaller, or stronger. Emotional resilience makes you stronger. It's a quiet, steady power that no one can take from you. And once you build it, it stays with you in every season of life. Point 2. Financial clarity and simplicity. Another pillar that brings true peace of mind in later years is financial clarity. I'm not talking about becoming wealthy or chasing big investments. I'm talking about something far more important: feeling calm and confident when it comes to your money. For many older adults, finances can quietly become a source of stress. The bills keep coming, the paperwork piles up, and sometimes accounts or subscriptions sit there draining money without you even realizing it. That stress can keep you up at night, and it can make you feel dependent on your children or others to sort things out. But it doesn't have to be that way. Financial clarity means having a setup that is simple, manageable, and easy for you to understand. Imagine being able to look at your finances and explain them to a friend in just a few minutes. That's the goal. You don't need 5 credit cards, 3 checking accounts, and piles of paperwork you can't track. The simpler your system, the stronger your sense of control. I once knew a woman who was widowed in her 70s. She admitted that after her husband passed, she was overwhelmed. They had multiple accounts, unused subscriptions, and even credit card charges she didn't recognize. At first, she felt lost. But slowly, she simplified. She moved into a smaller home, kept just one credit card, and cancelled everything she didn't really need. She told me later, "I used to dread opening the mailbox. Now I open every letter with a clear head." That's the power of financial clarity. When your finances are under control, your confidence grows. You no longer need to call your children for help paying a bill or wonder if you'll have enough left for groceries. You know where you stand, and that knowledge is freeing. It also means you don't have to depend on anyone else to explain your own money to you. You are the captain of your ship, even if it's a small one. So ask yourself, do I know where my money is going? Could I explain it simply? Am I spending more than I need to? Taking small steps toward clarity will bring you not just financial security, but emotional peace. And that peace is priceless. Point 3. Personal Code of Values. Now let's talk about something that doesn't show up in your bank account or on a medical chart, but it shapes every single day of your life, your personal code of values. As we get older, many of the roles we carried for decades begin to fade. You may no longer be raising children, clocking into work, or caring for a spouse the way you once did. And when those titles and responsibilities shift, it's natural to feel a little lost, asking yourself, who am I now? That's where having a personal code becomes so powerful. A personal code is simply a set of guiding values, your inner compass, that helps you stay grounded no matter what changes around you. These are not rules someone else gives you, and they don't need to be complicated. They are the principles that reflect who you are at your core. Living by your own values gives your life structure, meaning, and peace, even when everything else feels uncertain. I remember talking to a man in his 80s who said he lived by just 5 simple rules: speak the truth, never waste food, return what you borrow, forgive quickly, and sleep with a clear conscience. Nothing fancy, nothing written in stone, but those rules shaped his entire life. Every decision, every interaction went through that filter. And you could see the peace in him, the way he walked through the world without needing anyone else's approval. That's what a personal code does. It takes away the pressure to seek validation from others. You don't need to prove yourself, because you already know who you are. Whether or not people agree with you, you're steady. That steadiness keeps your mind sharp and your spirit calm. The beauty of living by your values is that it doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or 90, you can always define what matters most to you. And once you live in alignment with it, your days feel purposeful. You wake up not just to get through another day, but to live with dignity, honesty, and self-respect. That kind of inner compass is a gift you give yourself, and it's one that no one can take away. Point 4. Health routine. Let's move to another pillar that quietly shapes the quality of your life, your daily health routine. Now, when I say health routine, I don't mean expensive gym memberships, complicated diets, or chasing the latest fads. What I mean is showing up for your body in small, consistent ways that remind you, every single day, I still matter. The truth is, health in later years is less about intensity and more about consistency. Your body doesn't need perfection, it just needs steady care. That could mean drinking enough water, taking your medications on time, moving your body a little each day, and giving yourself nourishing food instead of just whatever is convenient. These little habits may not look like much, but together they form the backbone of your independence. I once knew a man named Joe, 81 years old, a retired electrician. Every morning, without fail, he brewed a cup of green tea, stretched gently from his chair for 15 minutes, took his medications, and then walked around his block, rain or shine. When I asked him why he was so faithful to this routine, he smiled and said, "Because it reminds me that I still matter." And isn't that the truth? A routine isn't just about health, it's about dignity. It's a daily act of saying, I care for myself, even when no one else is watching. The benefits go far beyond the physical. Consistency improves sleep, sharpens memory, reduces the risk of falls, and builds strength in small but powerful ways. More importantly, it gives you structure, a rhythm that carries you even on the days you don't feel like doing much. On a tough morning, your body doesn't ask how you feel, it simply remembers what you always do, and it moves you forward. You don't have to do big things. Start with the basics: stretch while your coffee brews, walk a few extra steps inside your home, drink that extra glass of water. These choices stack up, day after day, until they become part of who you are. And once it's part of you, it frees your mind from worry. No more asking, "Did I take my meds today?" or "Should I go for a walk?" Because you already know the answer. That's the quiet power of a health routine. It grounds you, strengthens you, and reminds you that your well-being is worth showing up for, every single day. Point 5. Physical mobility and independence. Now let's talk about something that doesn't always get the attention it deserves: your ability to move freely. At first, you might not think of mobility as a source of emotional support, but it truly is. Being able to get out of bed on your own, walk across the room without worry, or reach for your favorite cup in the cupboard, these are not just physical actions, they are symbols of freedom, dignity, and independence. You don't need to run a marathon or lift heavy weights to be strong at this stage of life. Strength looks different now. It looks like steady balance. It looks like legs that can carry you safely from the parking lot to the grocery store without fear. It looks like walking confidently across your living room, knowing you won't stumble. These simple abilities make a world of difference in your daily life. I think of Walter, a 78-year-old man I once met. Every morning, cane in hand, he walked slow but steady laps around his local park. When I asked him why he did it so faithfully, he told me, "The moment I stop moving is the moment I start waiting, and I don't want to wait, I want to live." That stayed with me. Walter didn't walk because it was easy, he walked because it was his choice, his declaration that he still owned his life. Mobility isn't just physical, it's emotional, too. When you can move with confidence, you're more likely to say yes to life. Yes to lunch with a friend. Yes to an afternoon at church. Yes to simply stepping outside and breathing fresh air. On the other hand, when movement feels uncertain, fear creeps in, and with fear often comes isolation. That's why protecting and improving your mobility is one of the best gifts you can give yourself. And it doesn't take extreme measures. Gentle stretches while your coffee brews, a few extra steps in the hallway, light resistance bands while you watch TV, these small efforts build strength over time. Every step, every stretch is not just exercise, it's a vote for your independence. It's a reminder that your body can still support you, and that you don't have to wait for someone else to do everything for you. Point 6. Social connection and community. The last pillar I want to share with you is something every human being needs: connection. As we grow older, it's easy for our circles to shrink. Children move away, friends pass on, and sometimes you find yourself spending more time alone than you'd like. Loneliness isn't just an emotional struggle, it affects your health, your energy, even your memory. That's why staying connected matters so deeply. Now, connection doesn't always have to mean a big family gathering or a busy calendar. It can be as simple as having one or two people you can call, meeting a neighbor for coffee, joining a local group, or even participating in an online community where people share your experiences. The key is to have meaningful conversations, laughter, and companionship that remind you, you are part of something bigger. I once spoke to a woman in her 70s who joined a small book club at her local library after losing her husband. At first, she was nervous. But she told me later, that one night a week changed my whole outlook. It gave me something to look forward to. That's the power of connection. It doesn't erase loneliness completely, but it softens it. It reminds you that your story matters and that others value your presence. And let's not forget, connection works both ways. When you reach out to others, you also give them the gift of your time, your wisdom, and your care. Sometimes the smallest things, a smile, a phone call, a kind word, can change someone else's day. That exchange creates a bond that strengthens both of you. So ask yourself, who do I feel most alive around? Who do I enjoy talking to? And how can I bring a little more of that into my week? Building community doesn't require a big crowd, it only requires openness. When you nurture even one or two real connections, you're giving yourself emotional support that is just as important as exercise, finances, or routine. We've walked through 5 powerful pillars together: emotional resilience, financial clarity, personal values, a health routine, and physical mobility. Each of these, on its own, can make a difference. But when you bring them all together, they create something much greater, a foundation that keeps you steady, no matter what life brings. Aging doesn't mean giving up. It means shifting, learning new rhythms, and finding deeper strength. Yes, there will be days when the silence feels heavy, when the body aches, when the loneliness sits too close. But in those moments, you can return to your foundation. Take a breath. Light a candle. Pay attention to your body. Move your legs, open the window, feel the air on your face. These are not small things, they are acts of courage. You are not just surviving. You are building a life of dignity, independence, and quiet power. And it's never too late to begin. Every day is a chance to strengthen your foundation and remind yourself, I am enough. So as you step into tomorrow, hold your head high. Because life after 60, 70, or even 80 is not the end of your story, it's a chapter of freedom. And you deserve to live it fully, with confidence, peace, and strength that no one can take away.